If you hate 9mm but still want to carry every day, this video is for you. Because we're going to talk about the .45s that actually make sense to carry, not the boat anchors that break your belt and your wrist. There are two kinds of .45 ACP people. The first group is all about the meme. I can do with one .45 round what it takes you 9 rounds of 9mm to do. They love the idea of big bore, they love 1911s, but they never actually carry them because they're heavy, low capacity, and kind of a pain to live with day to day. The second group quietly carries a .45 every day because they picked the right gun for the job. Manageable size, decent capacity, and something they can actually shoot well under stress. This list is built for that second group, and for anyone in the first group who's finally ready to join them. Quick ground rules before we start. Everything here is .45 ACP, obviously. All are practical carry choices, not race guns, not 6-inch long slides. I'm going to balance 3 things: concealability, capacity, and shootability. Because if the gun prints like a brick, holds 5 rounds, and you can barely finish a mag without your hands begging for mercy, you're not going to carry it. Let's start with the most obvious big name that makes 1911 fans grind their teeth. Glock. Specifically, the Glock 30 series. The Glock 30, especially in its SF and 30S variants, is probably the single most underrated .45 carry gun out there. It's a fat little brick that holds 10+1 rounds of .45 in a package that's roughly the size of a chunky compact 9mm. You get Glock reliability, Glock simplicity, and the ability to use Glock 21 mags as reloads if you want to carry a 13-round spare. The standard G30 is a double-stack .45 with a 3.78-inch barrel, around 7 inches overall, and an unloaded weight in the low to mid 20-ounce range for the 30S and a bit more for the regular 30. The SF stands for short frame, thinner front to back on the grip, and the 30S combines the slimmer slide from the Glock 36 with the double-stack frame of the 30SF. Translation: easier to carry, easier to conceal, still 10 rounds on tap. Recoil? It's snappy, but not unmanageable. The weight and thickness actually help soak up some of that .45 impulse. If you're used to 9mm micros, a 30 is going to feel like a little beast, but if you train with it, you get a gun that hits hard, feeds anything, and doesn't force you into 6+1 capacity. For someone who wants a real .45 carry gun that can also be a home defense gun, the 3030S is a seriously strong contender. Now, if you're willing to deal with a bigger grip and you don't care as much about deep concealment, the Glock 21 Gen 5 is the full-fat option. 13+1 rounds of .45 ACP in a full-size frame, 4.6-inch barrel, around 29 ounces empty. This is more of a duty gun than a t-shirt gun, but if you're a larger person or you carry outside the waistband under a jacket, it absolutely can be done. The reason the 21 belongs on a carry list at all is simple. It's boringly reliable and easy to shoot well. That big grip spreads out recoil, the slide mass tames the snap, and you end up with a .45 that doesn't beat you up. If you've always wanted a .45 that just runs, and you don't mind dressing around the gun, the 21 is a carryable .45 that makes a lot more sense than a full-steel 1911 for most people. But let's say you want something slimmer and more legitimately concealable, something in the single-stack world. Enter the Smith & Wesson M&P 45 Shield. The Shield 45 is basically the .45 version of one of the most popular concealed carry guns ever. It gives you 6+1 or 7+1 capacity depending on the magazine, with a 3.3-inch barrel and a very slim profile. It's around 21 ounces empty, which is light for a .45, and it's specifically designed to disappear under a t-shirt. Here's the truth though, when you condense a powerful round like .45 into a tiny frame, you pay for it in recoil. The Shield 45 is absolutely carryable, but it's not a gun for someone who shoots twice a year. The recoil is sharp, the grip is small, and if your fundamentals aren't solid, your second and third shots are going to wander. The upside? If you are willing to train, the Shield 45 gives you classic big bullet performance in a slimline package. For the person who says, "I refuse to carry 9mm, but I want my gun to actually be with me, not at home in a safe." The Shield 45 is worth a serious look. It shoots flatter than you'd expect for its size, and with good defensive ammo, you're not exactly undergunned. Okay, so we've covered chunky double-stack compact and slim single-stack. What if you're one of those people who loves metal guns and hammer-fired triggers? Then you have to talk about the Sig Sauer P220. The P220 is a classic for a reason. It's a single-stack, DA/SA .45 with about an 8+1 capacity, a 4.4-inch barrel, and an aluminum frame that keeps the weight moderate, around 30 ounces empty. It's not as light as a polymer pistol, but it's significantly lighter than a full-steel 1911. The grip is surprisingly slim for a .45, which makes it a lot more carry-friendly than the numbers suggest. What the P220 gives you that most striker-fired guns don't is that smooth DA/SA trigger and a level of shootability that makes people fall in love. The first DA pull is long and deliberate, which some people like for carry, and the subsequent SA shots are crisp and easy to control. Recoil is more of a push than a snap, and the sights and ergos are tuned for practical accuracy. Is it as concealable as a Micro 9? No. But in a good IWB holster with a proper belt, a P220 absolutely works as an EDC for someone who doesn't mind a bit of weight if it means a gun that points naturally and hits where you aim. If you're a DA/SA fan who refuses to give up .45, this is your lane. Next, let's talk about the classic everyone thinks of when they hear .45 ACP, the 1911. But we're not going full 5-inch government target pistol here. For carry, you want commander or officer-sized 1911s. Think 4 to 4.25-inch barrels, shortened grips, maybe lightweight aluminum frames. There are tons of good options. Kimber Pro and Ultra Series, Springfield Lightweight Operator, Colt Commanders, etc. The core idea is the same. You get that slim single-stack 1911 profile, 7+1 or 8+1 capacity, and one of the best single-action triggers ever put in a handgun. That short, crisp break makes fast, accurate shooting feel almost effortless if you put in the reps. The catch? Weight and reliability. A Steel Commander still weighs in the mid-30-ounce range empty. Add 8 rounds of .45 and a steel spare mag, and you're dragging real mass around. Alloy-framed 1911s help a lot here. You can shave 5 to 8 ounces off, and suddenly a 1911 becomes much more carryable. Reliability is the other thing. A good 1911 from a reputable maker, properly broken in and fed the right mags and ammo, can be absolutely rock solid. A cheap one, or one with match tolerances and random hollow points, can be a drama queen. So if your dream carry .45 is a 1911, spend the money on a proven model. Test it hard, and be honest with yourself about whether you're willing to deal with cocked and locked single-action carry every day. For the person who is, a Commander 1911 is still one of the most shootable .45 carry platforms on Earth. Now let's jump to something more modern and high capacity. FN's FNX45 and its tactical variants. These are definitely on the bigger end of carryable. but they deserve mention for people who want capacity first. The FNX 45 Tactical, for example, gives you 15 plus 1 rounds of .45 ACP in a DA/SA, polymer-framed handgun with a threaded barrel, optics-ready slide, and fully ambidextrous controls. It weighs around 33 ounces empty and is not small, but if you're the kind of person who's already carrying full-size 9mm with an optic and light, stepping up to an FNX 45 isn't crazy. As a carry gun, this is for the person who wants a do-everything pistol, home defense, range, suppressor host, and yes, occasional carry under a jacket or in colder weather. The grip is chunky, but the recoil is surprisingly manageable for a gun that holds 15.45s. If you're that guy who says, "I hate 9mm, but I want more than 8 rounds," this is your high-capacity big dog. On the opposite side of that spectrum, we have guns like the Springfield XDS Model 2 and similar ultra-slim .45s designed explicitly for concealed carry. The XDS in .45 has a 3.3-inch barrel, single-stack magazines, and an unloaded weight in the low 20-ounce range. It's very comparable to the Shield 45, thin, light, and easy to hide. The reality is the same. These guns are carry a lot, shoot a little platforms. Their whole job is to disappear on your waistline until you need them. If you're not recoil sensitive and you've already got good fundamentals, they give you that .45 comfort factor in a very small footprint. If you're new to handguns or flinchy, they will punish your mistakes. For EDC, a good compromise pick many people sleep on is something like a compact .45 in a modular system. Think a P320 compact, or similar in .45, where you get 8 to 10 rounds, a slightly beefier grip than a true micro, and the ability to configure grip modules and slides. These guns thread the needle between too big to carry and too small to shoot well. The key is, you must be honest about what you can control. A controllable .45 you carry every day is infinitely better than a perfect 9mm you leave at home, and also infinitely better than a .45 you love, but can't shoot fast and accurately under stress. So if you're that person who says, "I don't like 9mm, your next move isn't to argue ballistics in the comments. Your next move is to actually handle and shoot some of these .45 carry guns. See what you can conceal. See what you can run a full magazine through fast without your sights bouncing into the stratosphere. See what you can afford to feed and practice with regularly. When you find the one that checks those boxes, that's your .45. Not the one with the most internet points, not the one with the fanciest slide cuts, but the one you're still wearing 10 hours into your day and still hitting with when your heart rate is through the roof. If you want a follow-up where I rank these 7 from most concealable to best home defense crossover, or break down best defensive .45 loads for carry, let me know in the comments. Hit subscribe, tap the notification bell, and before you go spend your money on yet another safe queen, come back to this channel and make sure you're picking a .45 you'll actually carry, not just brag about.